going to call the audio recording for tonight's show?
Well, I've got a bit of a surprise for everybody, actually. So I will be pulling some cards. I will be pulling some cards, but I have a little surprise. So it's another Jack and Ori.
Okie dokie.
I think, yeah, Jack and Ori in cards.
Part 2.
Indeed.
All right then.
Okie dokie.
Are you ready to do your thing?
I am ready to do my thing.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Let me just sort my hair out. There we go. For my YouTube fans. Hello, YouTube fans. Okay. So, winter solstice. Midwinter solstice is nearly here. It's on Sunday, in case you didn't know. The longest night. It is the pivotal point. For me, it's a portal. The rebirth of the sun, which actually is kind of, when I say stationary, I don't mean it's still, but there's a kind of a lull before it rises properly on the 25th. So for me, the solstice is definitely portal energy. And I'd say it's quite a significant portal energy because it's the return of the light. And there are many things. I think last year, one of my radio shows was about the period of time which is known as the bringer of the light or something like that. So it's quite an important energy, I think, anyway. So last week I told you the adventures of Professor Murphy Woof. This week it's another one of Ian's stories. And a few years ago, so when was this written? This was written in 2023. So a few years ago, because we like watching Crimbo movies, yeah, it's just the done thing in this house. No one gets out of this alive. So a lot of Christmas stories, you know, if there are children involved in the Christmas stories, they always read the night before Christmas, yeah, and that's great, has its place. But I challenged Ian this particular year and said, why don't you write it in the style of Grimlick, which is his troll that he writes stories about. Magical troll, I might add. And he went, what? I went, yeah, write a similar story in the kind of in Grimlick's realm, if you like. So he did. So this is called The Wobble Before Solstice. Hello, boys and girls, and mums and dads. Welcome to tonight's story of the solstice and the bearded one. That's Santa Claus to you. Let's begin. 'Twas the twizzle, twazzle, wibble, wobble, early eve solstice night. When the wobbles were rare, and not a whizzitch was wobbling, apart from the wobbling Nausmo, the whizzitch word for mouse, who just didn't care as he could smell wobbledom in the air. The magic had been sprung with a thunderous clang and a bit of snow, and wands put in place everywhere, up the chimneys, on favourite chairs, and even down the stairs, in a twizzle that the bearded one might be there. The Whizzitch folk were all sound asleep, with snores being heard rattling the windows and toilet seats. Have you ever seen your snores run up and down your stairs, then into your toilet to rattle the seat? Keeps you awake, don't you know? can be a little bit bothering. Let's continue. Causing whole cottages to move and creak, carrying the snoozy dreams of dancing clonkers with their conkers, and knights of the bad temper protecting us all. Anyway, as can't even say it, Wizage is settled down for their winter Wizage nap. When from the snowy winter scene was heard a clapper and a tapper, and included a lot of steam, which was in fact the bearded one practicing his flamenco, as a matter of fact, which caused the sounder sleepers to spring from their beds and jump around to claps and taps, jumping in wonder to what all the kerfuffle was and who was causing the clatter. Wobbling quickly to my window to see, I opened the window as I heard an almighty wobbling. Crash! The moon was wobbling on the newly fallen snow and glowed like a throbbing toe and danced around like it had stubbed its toe, giving twinkles of light to magical things for all to see. Then, to my wobbling eye stares revealing itself to me, 'twas a magical sloop. That's Wizage, speak for sleigh, and 8 wobbling winter reed wobblers. That's known as reindeer. And standing beside them was a Wizage, waving his wand and creating a magical pong. I knew in a wobble this was the bearded one, with his big bag of magical things. In a flashing and a wobble and a magical bang, the winter reed wobblers wobbled towards the bearded one and formed an orderly line. They waited and watched with a mixture of smiles and frowns, and then heard him say, I've swallowed my whistle. My voice has gone shrill. He tried to say the reed wobblers' names, which was a bit of a disaster, and would need a word plaster. Shrilling was all he could say. Now shrilling, now shrilling, now shrilling, and shrilling. Wobble on, shrilling on, shrilling. Oh, what a wobbling whistle this has become. A bit of a prickling thistle, that's the sum. Then, to the top of the cottage and down the wall, slip on frozen wobbles, have a great fall, clear up the mess and make some Wizage brew. As all the trees gasp and wobble, what a sight to our eye starers, the bearded one wobbling through the cool night air. Now, sometimes the clumsy flying red knight would meet with a giant wobbling rock, glistening so bright it would cause him a fright. Down he would go with a gasping flight, with the trees wondering what might. But eventually the bearded one would reappear. Sometimes this would take a while, muttering to himself, nothing to see here. Then up he would go through the falling flurry snow, holding on to his bright red tights just in case the wind should blow down, giving the bearded one a frosty frown. He would go over cottages covered in pure white snow, his sloop full of wondrous things for the Wizages, from wobbling knights to wibbling kings, and with a wobbling ear sound of great big clamping boots. Did you know that reed wobblers like their feet to stay crispy, toasty warm in a snowy, blizzardy storm? Hence the boots. I pulled in my head and slipped and fell on the ground. Then as I looked up, who should I see? The old wobbling bearded one came tumbling down, with soot around his eye starers and soot-covered crown. He was dressed in bright red, but covered in soot from head to toe. Was the soot in his pockets? I just didn't know. The prezzies he bought, still shiny and bright, much to my delight, a waving coaster wobble monger bringing his wobbles to share. Now, normally the bearded one on any other eve would twinkle and sparkle like a starlit night. However, when covered in soot, you're not leaning on your best stomper foot. His eye starers, cheeks and nose, his mouth, beard and teeth, and all his clothes needed a bit of a mud bath. But the bearded one could only laugh, wobbling his great big belly like it was jelly that had never laughed before. He was truly a giant soot pile of wobbling fun, which made me laugh too, like a wobbling thumb stuck in a currant bun. With a wobble and a wink and a little stink, I knew I should not wobble away. He got to his feet, stompers, which seemed to take a good hour in a day. All he did was whistle a tune, and all of the wobblers went filling the room with presents abounding all around. Then after a gasp, many a time, I started to look for the bearded one's outline, who had used magic to return from whence he came, surprising the reed wobblers who scurried away. Eventually they did return. They were wobbled back with his purring gaze, which made them graze. Then, in an eerie din of soot and bluster, and a bellowing voice started to splutter, "I've got to go now, got to be back in time for me tea. So happy solstice wobbles and galushings galore to all from me and my trusty reed wobblers. And yes, I will have to clean my trousers when I get back tonight. Otherwise, Mrs. Bearded One will not be in delight," chuckled the bearded one as he flew off into the night. That's the end of that little the Wobble Before Solstice. Just a little one. Before I pull some cards. So I hope you enjoyed that. And just so you know, in case you're wondering about all the strange words, Ian is dyslexic, so he makes up all these amazing words for this particular realm of the Well, I can't even say it. the Wizage world. So I hope you enjoyed that. The Wobble Before Solstice. So, on to more serious business. Let's pull some cards and see what the energies of the solstice are going to be. Yeah, because we've got lots of things happening at the moment. There's a lot of, isn't there always? It gets a bit boring saying that all the time, but it's like it's never ending at the moment. The never ending story, so to speak. So yeah, let's have a look and see what. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. Interesting card. So I'm pulling from the. Oh, there's two there. Oh, wow. Okay, what we got? I will post the pictures in the group. Can't get this card out from underneath. There we go. Okay. Interesting cards. So I'll just take those two. Then I'm going to take a couple of these. This is the Talisman Oracle. The other ones are the Healing Waters. I think it's Healing Waters. Yeah, the Healing Waters Oracle. The same person who created Work Your Light. I think she's got another deck as well, which is the Rose. I think. The Rose Oracle. I haven't got those, just so you know. Okay. Let's have a couple of those. That's two. That's two. Two. Three. Okay. Right, let's put those there. And then I'm going to take some from Elemental. Take a couple from this deck. One and two. Okay, while I'm shuffling the other decks, I'm just going to take a photo of these two that I have got already. Okay, interesting energies there. I'm going to take a couple of these big. This is the Guiding Light Oracle. What I like about this deck is it's kind of space stuff, but they're paintings, which is quite amazing. Right. So what have we got so far? We've got the Rainbow, Sweet Relief, New Beginnings, a New Way Forward. Wow. I don't think you could get a much better energy for the solstice just in that card on its own. That's quite amazing. And then we have Plunge. That's an interesting word, isn't it? Plunge. Don't hold back. It's time. Go for it. Dive in. Again. Those two cards, I would say, very much complement each other. So this is definitely the energy of, you know, don't look back. Almost like just step through the portal. Yeah. Just go for it. So I find that quite interesting. And in the Plunge card, you have... So actually, no, the Rainbow card, you've almost got two pillars of the rainbow energy. You've got something above her head as well, which looks like, could be a face, but it looks like energy funneling down as well. And you got like this kind of watery energy. These are the Healing Water Oracles, so it's going to be a lot of water energy. Which is interesting because solstice is the fire. I'd also say earth as well, because in all the mythologies, in all the kind of pagan mythologies, it's about the birth or the rebirth of the sun. So that is, you could take that literally as the birth of the god from the goddess. So the god has been in the underworld, yeah. The sun has been low, yeah, which is what we directly experience. So you could definitely say there's the element of earth in there, as well as fire. But as always, the element of water, and I was told this back in 2021, I think, that the element of water is the most important element right now, because the way water moves, the way it is, the nature of water is the same as the nature of energy. Yeah, it's the same. It operates the same way, if that makes sense.
As we speak, Andy, they're having overflowing of water out in the Pacific Northwest. Rivers that they're all beyond their highest levels. Mass evacuations from Vancouver all the way down to LA.
Wow.
Just overflowing rivers from thaw. Yeah, it got cold and then it thawed out, and all the snow on the mountains come down into the major rivers there.
Oh, wow.
Look out, yeah. So
yeah, because that's I don't know if she's still with us, but I had a friend who lived out in Canada, and that's quite rare, isn't it? Because it freezes and it doesn't thaw till May usually. So that's
it's rare, yeah.
wow.
What's causing it though? Mild weather in that area specifically. Even here, it's mild today. All the snow is gone from here as well today.
Wow.
So amazing time, yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. So there we go. Water is, and what's interesting about water, it's not necessarily water that we can't function without. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's actually oxygen, which water has in it, obviously. It was a little while ago. I was watching how someone was describing it. I'm not really putting it across that well. But yeah, it's essentially it's the oxygen in the water that we need, not necessarily the water. I know that sounds a bit weird, but the way this person was just explaining it was a lot better than I've just done. So yeah, I really like these two cards. We have portal, so it's moving through that portal. And in the second card, we have another portal. It's just in fact, she looks like she's coming out of one portal and is going into another one, which I find quite amazing. So let's get a little bit info.
I saw that with the other two pillars. They're different shapes. They're bigger, it looked like, right? On the right.
Yes, you got the pillars again. Yeah. Almost like they're the same. Those pillars almost make the same shape as the energy that's kind of being funneled into the top of her head. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, the cosmic is coming down. Those are great cards because they show the cosmic energy coming down from above, connecting with the individual. Amazing.
Okay, so the Talisman Oracle, we have Blessed Day. So it's going to be a blessed day. We've got success with the star, yeah, with the pentagram, and then we have courage and the lion. So I don't think that needs any explanation, really. So this
can't get much better than that,
you don't really. So this idea of moving forward through this portal energy will be successful. And I would say that involves trusting that process. That involves trusting yourself, moving through that process like water. Yeah. But it is certainly going to be a blessed day. But it will take courage, which, that makes sense to me, because it takes courage to be able to just let go and be the flow, not go with it, be it. Yeah, because that's what we are. We are these beings of energy. And yes, I'm going to say neutrinos because neutrinos move. They don't have any. They have no rules. When and I have read a peer-reviewed paper on neutrinos. They can measure neutrinos. They're not a fantasy thing. They are an actual thing. I call them the 5D particle because they can move through matter. They can take any shape that they want. They can travel faster than the speed of light. I mean, these are quite phenomenal particles, yeah. And that's
quantum. But I'll say one thing: that's not a neutrino. That's my runny nose.
Thank you, Kevin. So what I would say is not about Kevin's runny nose, but that's how I see our makeup. We are that those neutrinos. That's our nature, if that makes sense. Okay, what else? Oh, wow, really couldn't make this up, guys. We have oceans. And we have endurance. So I'll take a photo of these cards as well.
And I'm a Pisces with all this water. Wow.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. So let's put those up there. Put those up there, and I can actually take a photo. So let's take it around that way. My phone will allow it. There we go. So we have oceans, bravery, and oceans. Wow. I mean, again, it doesn't need any explanation, because this relates to moving through the portal, courage, and then we have perseverance. Oh, sorry, endurance. Sorry, not perseverance, endurance. Which is really strange because I was only talking about this with Ian today. So this realm, I'll try and remember how I put it earlier. So this realm, the way it works is it creates friction, yeah, because it's in duality. So it's always creating friction, yeah. So I did kind of I'm going to use yoga as an example, yeah. So when you are doing yoga and you're holding a pose, yeah, I've seen the looks on some people's faces when they're holding a pose, and it looks like they're going to have a heart attack. That's not yoga. That's not yoga. Yeah. The idea of yoga is you're training your being, all the aspects of your being. So your muscles, your ligaments, your tendons, your nervous system, every part of your being, yeah, your blood vessels, to be able to function in a relaxed state, in a relaxed, open state, even when it's under pressure. And I used the words the other day, grace under pressure. Yeah. So what you're doing when you are, and you can put it, you can give other examples as well, but this is the example that I know firsthand, yoga. Yeah. Or walking, actually. That's the other one. So, but what I find about yoga, it really does test your endurance. Yeah. Because if you're holding a pose, and you're making like a face like you're going to have a heart attack, that's not a good place to be, yeah. But if you can hold a yoga pose, any yoga pose, breathe into it in a relaxed way, but still hold the pose with, it's a bit hard to explain, but if you it's almost like you have, when you're holding yoga poses, it's like you'll always have two opposing forces. And if you can balance those two opposing forces in a yoga pose, then you can actually relax in the pose, get more out of it, and your whole being relaxes in that pose, and your breath relaxes, and your brain's not screaming at you. It sounds a bit strange, but that's been my own personal experience as a practitioner and a teacher, actually. But what that does is it builds endurance. It builds resilience. Yeah. So what's interesting about that for me is myself and Ian, we were talking about our childhoods, yeah. And I think most of the people listening right now will get this. So all the things that we've been through, yeah, in this realm, which creates friction because it's in a place of duality, all those things that we have experienced that we have, fallen down about and we've got up again. Every time we fall down, we get up again. Yeah. Doesn't matter how many times we are down, we get back up again. That's endurance. That's resilience. Yeah. So we are extraordinarily resilient because of all the things that we've experienced in our life. Yeah. And I sat there and I said to Ian, how do, all these young people now, yeah, how are they going to experience that firsthand? Because it seems like, what they are going through in their life is, maybe it's in a different way, I don't know. But they're certainly not going to have, or it appears like they're not having the same experiences that build that kind of resilience. So that's a really interesting card that's come up there. Endurance.
They've lost their soul because of blue screens and all the EMFs.
Yeah.
And they're just, so this will be hard to cure within them because they will have to go within themselves to see that they've been missing the boat.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, really, when you think about it. But I know there are people out there who are raising their children like we were raised. Yeah. In that very kind of that creative thinking, that kind of, having that freedom and not being, what's the word? Watched every 5 minutes. What was that, Kevin?
Not being indoctrinated, having freedom of thought and creation.
Absolutely.
I'm right on board with that, 100%.
Definitely. What we've got here as well with these two cards, so we've got water and we've got earth, which is what I was saying. We don't have any fire here, although I would say the courage is definitely, because that's a lion, that's a Leo card. So there's the fire there, courage. Definitely. Okay. And then we have these two cards. Balancing act. Well, the solstice is a balance. Yeah. There we go. And it says you may be putting all of your time and energy into one area and neglecting other areas that need your immediate attention, which is interesting. The return of the light, I think we'll do that. And let's say that's kind of the energy of walking in the underworld, which is essentially, you might not want to call it the underworld, but essentially, when you emerge from the underworld, there's going to be things that are waiting there for your attention, definitely. And then we have heart of compassion. There are many people around you who benefit from your loving, compassionate heart. Wow. That's very cool. So let me just get a picture of those two. And then I will grab some tarot. So if anyone in the group wants to pull some cards alongside, feel free. Right, what deck? Let's go with this. This is the Llewellyn Tarot, which is very nice. So yeah, this is definitely got an energy of balance. So we've got the portal. We've got, I say, the balance of water, earth, fire on this blessed day. So if you allow yourself to move through this portal, it will be successful. And I'd say this heart of compassion, this is also about being compassionate with yourself as well. So what do we have? Oh, wow. Ariane Rod, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups. Oh.
Wait till you hear what I have. Queen of Swords.
Oh, wow.
Ten of Pentacles and a Lover's card.
Wow. So that could be personal for you, Kevin, for the solstice, I would say.
Awesome.
I don't know why it's put them up. That's weird. It's put them up wonky. Never mind. So interesting. So we have Ariane Rod, the Wheel of Fortune. We also have the Ace of Cups, King of Wands. So there's your fire right there, and it's together with the courage, yeah. Courage, passion. The Ace of Cups is on top of the Success card. And the Wheel of Fortune, Ariane Rod, is on top of the Blessed Day. So that's a kind of portal going on there as well. So this is the way I see the Wheel of Fortune sometimes is as the wheel goes round, there will be opportunities to get off the wheel, yeah, to go in a different direction, yeah, to get off the path, take another turn, maybe double back. And that's kind of how I'm seeing this Wheel of Fortune right here, yeah. It's very much, this is your chance, moving through this portal, this is your chance to get off that wheel, yeah, on this blessed day. And it's also a blessed day because you have the chance to go through that portal and experience something new. Interesting. Okay. So this isn't just success. This is oh, we have the compassionate heart here, don't we? Yes, that's connected to that, the Ace of Cups. Oh wow. Okay. Water is also connected. What was that?
Am I too late? Did I miss the chance to put a card in?
No, go for it.
I've got the Six of Pentacles.
Six of Pentacles. Okay.
Sorry to butt in. I just wanted to ask that. Carry on what you're saying, but I just wanted to let you know.
So what does the Six of Pentacles mean for you?
So that's the progression from 6 to 10. It's supposed to crash. Well, sorry, what is... I didn't want to stop you in your flow. You were saying something already. Sorry, but I can tell you if you want to.
No, that's okay. What does the Six of Pentacles mean for you, Litmus?
Prosperity.
There you go then. So
in my little book it says the scales of balance and past problems are resolved. This is one of the very best cards to indicate positive financial conditions in a person's life. Not only does this card reflect the state of being materially secure, it also tells us that the querent is able to use the abundance in their lives for the benefit of others, etc., etc. And the Ten of Pentacles, which I drew, is a confirmation of even greater fruition.
yeah. Yeah. So there is a progression there, definitely. That's amazing. That's very cool.
Show kindness, generosity, compassion, and philanthropic acts.
Yeah, I like that. So, yeah, the Ace of Cups is definitely connected to this Heart of Compassion card. So this will be, this is a new beginning in terms of, I would say, aligning with who we truly are, which is, I was talking earlier about, neutrinos that have compressed themselves to be in, like something dense, if you like. You could say that. Well, I'm saying that. So yeah, this is a new, and it's in the middle as well. This is a new alignment. It's all kind of, and it's water again. It's water again. Okay. So the King of Wands, courage. This is the mastery of the fire, your will, your divine will, your ability to actually do it. Yeah. To actually not just walk through this portal, but where does that then go? I don't know about you guys. So earlier this year, I was definitely experiencing massive fatigue, and it was hard to kind of get anything done, and it kind of felt like I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to pull cards. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't really want to go walking.
I just pulled 5 of Pentacles, so think about that.
Ah, okay. That's the kind of unfulfilled,
yes.
like being left out.
2 cups are full, and yes, and perhaps sometimes we feel that way, but when it's seldom, it's much better because we're happier. More cups full.
Yeah. Did you say pentacles or cups? I thought you said pentacles.
No, this is 5 of cups.
Oh, right, 5 of cups. I thought you said pentacles. Sorry. Where was I? Yeah, so where does that then go? Moving through this portal, is the next kind of part of the journey, but then where does that go? Okay, let's find out. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Apprentice of Stone. So I think the Apprentice is the Page. It's interesting. Okay. So that's the beginning of the journey right there. I'm not taking those because that's too many. Just 2, please. 2 cards. This is the Druid. Oh, okay. We got 3. Fine. This is. Oh, we got 5. Okay, fine. Druidic Tarot. So we have. This is interesting. Ooh. Okay. Let me take a picture. Interesting.
5 of Swords and 7 of Swords I cut.
Let me just get. Oh no, it won't do it that way. No. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okie doke. This is interesting. So where does the journey go from here? So we start at the beginning. We start as an apprentice. We start as a page. So we're starting, even though, you might have all this knowledge, all this wisdom, all this, everything. But essentially, moving through this portal means that we start at the beginning, but it's just the next bit up. So there might be a bit of a learning curve, which I would say is definitely in the Druid of Cups. That's the king. Yeah. So the apprentice is the page of stones, which is the very like earthy kind of get your hands in the dirt. Yeah. Learning. Yeah. Then we have the Druid of Cups, King of Cups. This card is phenomenal. And he has in front of him, this is an interesting cup, actually, I have to say. Let me think. Oh no, that's in the other deck. This is interesting. So we also have the Three of Cups, the World, and the Nine of Wands. So we don't have air in here. That's interesting. So we have earth, water, and fire, which is what we have up here. We have water, earth, and we have fire. So kind of what this is saying is we're using those same 3 of the 5 elementals, yeah, but we're using them differently, or we're fashioning something differently, which is kind of what this cup is indicating in this Druid of Cups. That's kind of how I see that. The middle card, which is the pivot, that's a celebration right there, the Three of Cups. So there's a point where you move from the learning page to the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the pinnacle of that learning. There's a celebration of some description, yeah. And then you have the world card. Now, this particular world card is just, I love it. And again, you have what looks like water and fire and earth. So the earth is all around, and the tree as well. You have what looks like water, which is kind of where the roots are, and then you have the fire, which is where the top of the tree is. So there's a balance of all of those 3 elementals. Again, there's no sign of air in that card, yeah. But interestingly, the Nine of Wands with that lightning, that's fire and air, yeah. So the fire comes in, it's like the icing on the top of the cake. Once you've gone through this, you know, where does the journey start when you move through the portal? And we see that we get to this place of the balance of those 3 elementals, which is, I find that really interesting. And then the air with the fire just pops in on the top and goes, yeah. And what's really interesting about the lightning on that card is it looks a bit like a tree. And you also have the druids who are all stood in the water. So I would say what this is telling me, so you've got the earth, which is, you know, the very earth that we stand on, yeah. We have the water, which connects to the heart, love consciousness. And we have fire, which is your divine will, yeah. Air, which represents the intellect, does not come into it until right at the end. It's like you have to balance these other 3 in order for that to be, I suppose you would call that the divine intellect, which is where the heart is informing the mind as opposed to the other way round. That's kind of how I'm seeing that. Interesting. Anyone else got any other cards that they want to share? You might have pulled.
Yeah, I've pulled 3. Well, I haven't pulled them; they've fallen out.
Cool.
I was listening to you guys, and I've just posted them up. And bizarrely, in quotation marks, the bed came out first.
Oh wow!
On Tuesday, that that was quite prominent for me. Again.
Very, yeah. Wow. That means your inner strength and power to face challenges head on. And this, from what I can see about this solstice energy, it might be challenging. You're gonna need to find a little bit of courage to move through it. So that makes sense, doesn't it?
It does indeed. And then I got the thistle.
Wow.
Embracing my unique gifts and talents, and the bard. Allow creativity to flow from your heart.
Which is the water element.
There we go.
And you know what? I've only just realised a thistle, yeah. Because sometimes they can be quite purpley, can't they? So, and the way they kind of spread out, it's very crown chakra. And it also corresponds with that very first card, the rainbow. The way that energy is kind of funneling down into her head, it's like a thistle, the shape of a thistle.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what does that say to you, Andy?
Well, again, I had an eyebrow raised moment there when the bear came out first. Okay, I'll keep shuffling and I'll stick with, see if I get 3. So as soon as I got the third one, bard, I thought, right, that's it, okay, we're good to go. But yeah, I think it's just basically what it's saying is that if I hadn't have pulled the bear card or that bear image on Tuesday, then it might not have been as significant, but it's absolutely significant today.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically it's repeating itself.
Yeah.
And it's basically saying tap into your inner strength and power to face challenges head on. And the thistle one is the flow of the river that's in the image. Is embrace your unique gifts and talents to achieve the bear. So absolutely. Then once those 2 are achieved, then you've got the bard from which you can now create. Allow that creativity to flow.
And it'll be, you know, how you use your creativity to move through this portal as well.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, it can require courage to actually put your creativity, I want to say, out there. I think just allowing yourself to be creative in your own unique way, it does require courage.
Yeah, I've always had a creative streak in me, but I've always required an outlet to let it flow.
Yeah.
And it'll come out in the most bizarre things. I mean, 20 years ago, I used to, news agents would get deliveries of newspapers in great big bundles. And
yes.
Them up and right. Well, I used to, one of the little jobs I used to do was deliver those big bundles to all the different news agents.
Wow.
But when you was at the print works, waiting for them to come out, you had to bring them out as they was coming out and then stack them. And I used to make furniture out of them.
Really?
Yeah, as I was stacking them up in the area waiting for it to be loaded up onto the van, I would make armchairs, I'd make a settee, I'd make all kinds of different things, just with these square cube blocks of newspapers.
Oh, wow.
I'm here, I might as well be creative. So it would manifest itself, creativity-wise, would always manifest itself in stupid things like that for me. That everybody else are just like, oh yeah, stack the box, stack the piles up, stack them up. I know what, I made a 4-poster bed one time. Oh yeah, did you have sweaty Becky in there, Andy? Did you see that?
That was the Mac lads, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember the Mac lads.
So the creativity flow comes out in strange ways for me. It comes out in different sort of avenues. It's like I look around at the people that I'm sort of living amongst, and they have the same kind of house I have. They have the same garden space that I have, and they don't do anything with it. I know saying that they should, but all I'm saying is that I'm the only one that's made a blooming bit of land at the front of the house. It's only like 10 foot square, if that. It's a bit sort of like cockeyed at one end at the front. But I've made something of it, instead of just leaving it and doing nothing, which everybody else seems to do.
Yeah.
So I've just got this sort of little creativity thing that goes on inside me. I just try and improve on things that already exist. A little bit here, a little bit there. So yeah, that's definitely a trait within me.
That's very cool.
I made a little garden just outside. I'm on the ground floor, just outside the railing. I made one area right at the front on the right, little garden, and I grew some Siberian kale and some tomatoes. There you go.
Cool. So I've just drawn the last two cards from the Druid Animal Oracle deck, and we've got the cow and the goose. So let me grab the goose is there. Okay, let me grab the cow. Where's the cow? That's cat. Not cow, Ange. Cat. Cow. Cat cow. Right, I've got the goose there. They're not in alphabetical order, which is really annoying.
Goose is associated with what the Britons used to do for Christmas. They cook a goose.
Yeah, some people do. Let me just find.
Back in Dickens' days kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, the goose was the thing, wasn't it? It wasn't turkey.
No, that's right. That came much later. Yeah, they used to. What was it? Christmas is coming. The goose is getting fat. Please put a
penny in the old man's hat. Yeah, I was only singing that the other day.
Yeah.
That's an old Victorian rhyme. It's very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it used to be a goose, like Kev said, and I'm sure it only switched to turkey when Bernard Matthews came on the scene.
Yeah, probably.
I think you might have had something to do with the Pilgrims going to America. I think they sort of encompassed the whole turkey thing, don't they? I think that's where it comes from. Yeah, because I don't know why, but I just think that might be the turkey connection. They didn't take geese with them; they took turkeys.
Yeah.
Well, probably so they get gobble on the cover.
Right.
We lost you there. I said probably so they could have a gobble on the way over. Sorry, I'm still in the tone from the other day. Marvin Shaw, yes. Because they have turkey for Thanksgiving in the States, don't they, Kev?
Oh yeah, but you notice the beef, the cows there too. So who doesn't mind a nice prime rib roast or steak? Yummy. So there's your alternative to goose. If you don't like your goose cooked, cooked goose, just have a roast of beef with some what's that called? Yorkshire pudding, gravy, mashed potatoes, yum yum, carrots, whatever you want. Nothing like it. I love it.
So these two cards, the cow and the goose. So the cow is the representation of the goddess, particularly Hathor, who is the goddess, amongst other things, of love. And then we have goose, which, interestingly, is to do with vigilance. So as we're moving through this portal, just keep your eyes open, guys. Yeah. But it's also very productive. So that goes back to the creativity. And that crucible of creativity, which is the Druid of Cups. That's kind of, you could say that's a crucible. It's a vessel for sure. So I think those two just confirm it, what we've been talking about. I like that.
100%.
Anyone else have any cards in the last little minute or so?
Okay, one more from me.
Go on then.
Just got the Hierophant.
Oh, cool.
We got wisdom.
Yeah,
Us.
absolutely. I like that. That's very good. Thank you, Kevin. Okay. Well, we're on the hour. Who's that? Okay. So we're on the hour.
Sorry. I also got the Six of Swords, Angie. Sorry. That's
Six of Swords.
Yeah.
Six of Swords.
Which is about a journey.
Journey, yes. Wow. Yeah, this is definitely a journey. What was that?
Journeying through the solstice portal.
Yeah, definitely. To a new way of being.
Yeah, to new possibilities of experience.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely what we're seeing here.
Which come from our thoughts in our mind. So it says, when the mind voyages through different landscapes, we journey to new possibilities of experience. So that's cool.
Yeah. And the swords are the air. So that's interesting.
Better have a trip up to Sweden.
Cool.
That's fantastic news. Well, the good news is I'm taking it to the airport, Andy, so that's nice. Oh, happy days. That is good. So, that just happened today, so that's nice. That's a nice thing to happen on the new moon, Saturday new moon.
Cool. Okay, I don't think there's anything else that we need to say, unless anyone else wants to add something on the end.
Just gratitude for all you bring to the table. I always enjoyed my time spent with you and Andy and all the guys and gals here. So take care, my dear.
And you, Kevin. It's good to see you back. Okay, Andy, if you want to...
I was just going to say much love, Angie, and thank you very much. Fantastic show, as always.